Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Tyrone back with Tech Life. The picture you're seeing on screen was sent in by Terrell352, or some of you may know him as Mobile Master Tech. I'll leave a link to his X and channel in the description so you guys can check it out. So, T-Mobile doing what they do best. They know exactly when to attack. They have a perfect timing. They know exactly how to hit a home run, so to speak. And they're already doing it with Starlink. So we had the big commercial that nobody really saw coming. It kind of blindsided everyone. We knew T-Mobile would be at the Super Bowl, but we didn't know it was going to be that big. And when they launched that commercial, I'm telling you guys, it had the most amount of impressions, most amount of views out of any Super Bowl ad. So this was posted. This was sent to me, like I said, by Terrell352. And this is on the billboard. If you can see the sky, you're connected. Register the beta at tmobile.com. So they're already pushing this into their marketing. Which, I mean, of course, it makes sense. But, you know, one could argue that it's being pushed a bit prematurely because it's still in beta, right? So that means people might join the service expecting to get a good service, and then it's lackluster for them because if they're a Verizon customer, right, they have to pay $20 a month, and then the texting doesn't even work properly because it's still in beta. So I think they should have waited. I think they should have opened it up to some T-Mobile customers for free at no additional charge during the beta. They should have, well, the beta, there is no charge, right? They're not going to charge until July, but I still think that's not enough time. But anyway, you guys catch my drift. So it should be free, right? It should have been a small selective group of T-Mobile customers that are a part of this beta. They should have been testing it, right? Maybe like a few thousand or maybe a few 100,000 T-Mobile customers. And then when you have all the issues figured out, the service is launched publicly, right, in July. The data is working, the calling is working, the texting is working, no problems, right? Then you open it up to Verizon and AT&T customers at the dollar amount that you're going to charge. I think it's $20. Then you can do that. But right now, opening it up to Verizon, AT&T, and everyone else, and there's a lot of videos going around that the service is really not that great, that people are, it's connecting in and out. Yes, they got the waiver for the higher power, but we don't know if that's necessarily going to make that huge of a drastic difference. So all of that still has to be evaluated. But again, T-Mobile doing what they do best. They're going to hype this up as the next big thing in the wireless industry, right? Satellite, direct to satellite is what they call it, I guess, and they're going to do it, right? They're going to do it. They're not holding back. You can see it here. Being on these types of digital billboards is quite expensive on a monthly basis, but T-Mobile's doing it. They're already well invested into that partnership. So they're not going to hold back, right? So it's an interesting situation. T-Mobile is very good at marketing. We saw it time and time again during the Un-carrier days. T-Mobile punched above their weight. They sold a network to customers that wasn't really all that great, right? But they were able to sell their service. We knew the wireless tech enthusiasts, even at those times, understood T-Mobile was not anywhere close as good as what they were selling the network as. Yes, they were the fastest, but they had the smallest network, so of course, it just made sense, right? They had the least amount of customers by far at that time when they first started. They had two good 20 megahertz wideband channels on AWS and PCS. So it wasn't hard to figure out that they were going to be the fastest when it came to median downlink speeds. But it really didn't result into much else, right? It didn't really scale the network. They didn't grow much. They had high churn. And then over time, it got better. But still, even at its peak on LTE, when they had the best possible, when they started getting band 12 incorporated, low band, they started to build out, densify even more. The network still wasn't as good as they hyped it up to be back then. So again, they're going to hype this. You're going to start seeing Starlink, T-Mobile all over the place, billboards, TV, digital ads, sponsored ads. You're going to see them all over the place, and they're not going to stop. They're not going to stop. This is what they're good at, and they're not going to stop. So appreciate Terrell for sending this in. Let me know if you've seen billboards of T-Mobile and Starlink in your city, your area, your county. Let us know in the comments. Like, share, subscribe if you're new. Follow my social media outlets. This is Tyrone with Tech Life. See y'all in the next one. Peace.